Did I say we would be back? Yes, I said we would be back, and yes, we're now back. Hello, guys, welcome. Or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Whovian, and we're doing part 2 of my ranking of the episodes of Star Trek, the animated series from the 1970s. So yes, part 1 went from ranking the entries of 22 to 12. So now this next video is going to be ranking number 11 entries down to my number 1 favorite entry. If you've not seen my previous video ranking the previous episodes, you might want to watch that before you watch this one. Either way, guys, you're awesome. Let's do this. So now we're going for number 11 of the entries. What's reached my number 11 entry of the animated series? One of our planets is missing. The way this goes is the Enterprise is trailing along the universe, and they come upon a cloud that consumes whole planets for nourishment. And they realize this planet is headed on a trajectory to other planets that are occupied by lots of people. And then eventually the Enterprise gets caught up in the cloud, but the cloud does not devour the Enterprise because the cloud is full. And eventually Kirk realizes they have to blow themselves up inside the cloud to destroy the cloud from killing the rest of the other planets it's going towards. But Spock, using the Vulcan mind waves, he uses his mind meld to connect to the cloud and get the cloud, because it turns out the cloud is a sentient being, and gets the cloud to back off and realizes that it will commit murder if it consumes that planet and return to its place of origin. I personally really like this story. I don't know what other people feel about it, but I liked it. Now we're at number 10. Once Upon a Planet. Okay, if you guys have seen Shore Leave from the original Star Trek series, it's connected to this. The same pleasure planet on Shore Leave is the same planet. And both the Keeper, who controlled the entire pleasure planet, he is dead. Which means the computer that used to help regulate everything that was happening on Shore Leave, on that planet, is now run havoc. You see, Shore Leave, the pleasure planet and Shore Leave, was a planet that people could go to like an amusement park, and anything they thought about could come true and they could live out their fantasies. But this computer now is sick of being chained down to just accommodating people, so now it's actually attacking people who are coming to the planet for Shore Leave. And eventually Kirk and the fellow crew members are helping. The computer realizes this is a vital mistake. I like this episode so much. If you like Shore Leave, you'll like this. Number 9. Albatross. Okay, what's the pot? Sorry, did I say pot? I don't know why I said that, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. I've never even smoked pot. That's weird. It's so weird. Really, guys. I know I'm black and I've got dreadlocks, but I've actually never ever smoked pot. Sorry. So what is the plot of Albatross? Okay, the Enterprise delivers medical supplies to a planet called Dromia. But at the same planet, it turns out there's a warrant for Dr. McCoy's arrest. Yeah, Bones, Dr. McCoy, because he's responsible for a plague that happened on Dromia 2, the other planet, 19 years ago. So apparently he did something which led to a plague that happened 19 years ago, and there's been a warrant out for him ever since. And Kirk and the Enterprise crew literally set out to find evidence that proves that this is not true, and luckily they are successful. Great story. I'm sorry, I think it's great. That's what I think it is. Number 8, the Practical Joker. Yeah, okay, so the Enterprise comes across Romulans, and to escape the Romulans, because, you know, they're Romulans, they want to fight the Enterprise. That's what they do. They're Romulans. So the Romulans, to escape them, they travel through an energy field. The Enterprise travels through an energy field. But when it travels through the energy field, something happens to the Enterprise. Somehow, all throughout the ship, practical jokes are being pulled on the Enterprise crew members. And at first, people think it's just each other pulling these pranks. But no, it's not. It's the Enterprise pulling pranks on everybody in the Enterprise. Because something happened when it went through the energy field. And I think Spock described it as the Enterprise is now suffering a nervous breakdown. And that's what's really happening. And eventually, Captain Kirk tricks the Enterprise into being put back to rights again. I love this story. God, I love it so much. I want to know what other people think about it. So number 7. Oh, number 7. The Lorelei Signal. Okay, guys, you know me. I am not a person who's all about, you know, SJW forced politics, but by God, did I feel proud to be a woman in this episode. Why? What's the point of this? Okay. The men on board the Enterprise, one day, they are affected by a message that makes them see beauty or beautiful women, etc. and so forth. And this lures them to a planet where there are these beautiful women there. They get captured, and these women are draining the energy of the Enterprise men, including, of course, Kirk, Spock, Scotty, McCoy, and probably other people there as well, and Sulu also as well, probably. And so Uhura realizes that something is wrong. She's still on the Enterprise. Yes, Uhura, she realizes something's wrong, and what does she do? She takes over the Enterprise. And she organizes an all-female rescue security team to go down onto the planet to get the men. BAM! Yes! Oh, God! Yeah, women! I'm sorry, yes. You guys know me. I'm not all about forced female politics. Yes! This was organic and it was awesome and I love it. Okay, number 6. Yes, number 6. More trouble, more tribbles. I'm not going to spoil the plot for you, but again, guys, we have got Romulans chasing Captain Kirk and Enterprise are in, conflict with the Romulans. Why? Because guess what? Cyrano Jones. Remember the Trouble with Tribbles in Series 2 of the original Star Trek series? Yes, we got Cyrano Jones, guys. He's back. He's got Tribbles, and guess what? He stole a Tribble Predator that the Romulans made to kill Tribbles. He stole this, called the Glamour, and now the Romulans want it back. Oh, God. You like Tribbles? You like Cyrano Jones? You're going to love this. It's awesome. I freaking love this story. And you know you love it, too. You know you love it, too. Number 5. The Terra 10 incident. Okay, so now the Enterprise is approaching a burnt-out supernova, and the Enterprise experiences a wave of bombardment. And after that, they can't leave orbit of this area. But what happens as it's all going on? They all begin to shrink. So here they are on Enterprise, and everything is getting too big for them to handle. It turns out because they were trying to be contacted by another people who were very small in stature, and the only way they could get the Enterprise to communicate with them is if they made everyone their size. Either way, it was entertaining to see the Enterprise, people on the Enterprise, Kirk, Spock, Uhura, Sulu, all of them become too small to work on the actual Enterprise. And I think it was overall a very fun time for me. Then we have, okay, number 4. This might shock people, because some people probably don't think it's very good. I personally love this story. The Magics of Megas 2. If you guys think, oh, that's a tongue twister, so it must be really weird, it's weird, and I love it. Okay, the Enterprise is traveling to the center of the universe because there still should be some energy there developing, and it's beautiful when they go there. It's absolutely gorgeous at the center of the universe. And then all of a sudden this fawn shows up named Lucian, or this devil-looking creature, and yep, the fawn transfers Kirk, Spock, and Bones down to Megas 2. It's a universe that is literally run by magic. I'm not going to spoil any more for you. But turns out there's more to Lucian than you'd expect, but it's really kind of cool. And the ending is great. And also in this episode, there's a connection to the Salem witch trials. But Spock's last line at the end of this about how a certain character was once lost, but this first time this character is now saved. I'm sorry, but I totally dig this story. It's out there, it's extreme, and I think it is really cool. So now we have number 3. Oh, what could number 3 be? What could number 3 be? It is the counter-clock incident. Okay, we're at Planet Babel, and ambassadors are there to honor the Commodore and Mrs. April, an iconic doctor, and they're also on board of the Enterprise. They're older people, and now they're going to retire and all that. But they're following an alien ship that's attached to, literally, somehow the alien ship is heading towards a supernova. It gets sucked in, and the Enterprise gets sucked in with it. Now they're in a universe where everything is running backwards, including people's aging. So the people, the Commodore and the nurse, they are getting younger, but so is everybody on the Enterprise. This is okay for the Commodore and the nurse because they're going from older people to young adults, young people in their 20s. But the people in the Enterprise, Kirk, Uhura, Spock, Scotty, they're becoming children and ultimately babies by the second. So they have to get out of this universe again, so they can start aging at a traditional pace and get back to their age so they can look after the Enterprise. I'm sorry, I love stuff like that, going from an opposite age to a younger age. I dig it. I'm totally into it. I think it was really good and very well written and very well achieved. Number 2, the ambergris element. This one is just a special place in my heart. Why? Okay, here's the plot of this one. The Enterprise travels to a planet called, I believe, Argo, and it's almost entirely covered in water. And while they're traveling with other crew members, they get attacked, and this creature boom, just breaks up their ship that's traveling on the water, and the rest of the crew gets away, but Spock and Kirk are left behind, and eventually they get discovered again, but it turns out they were rescued by underwater people who turned them into them, which means Spock and Kirk can only breathe underwater and swim underwater. They cannot live on land. So Spock and Kirk go to find the underwater people who turned them into this so they can reverse it, so that they can go back to being land creatures who now are working on the Enterprise. And eventually peace is achieved between both civilizations. I think it's a very creative episode, and I just love the whole idea of it. I think it's also very beautiful, and it shows how the animation really worked for this level of Star Trek. Because you couldn't achieve these things with live action. And number one, okay guys, I know this might be a cliche, because I'm sure everybody loves this episode, but it's a number one for me because it's just that damn good. That's probably why it's everyone's number one if they love the animated series. Number one, Yesteryear. They're on the planet Orion, and they are traveling to the Guardian. The Guardian, if you remember from the series 1 of the original Star Trek series, the Guardian is this entity that if you jump into it, you can travel through time and through space. So Kirk and Spock go into it, but then when Kirk and Spock come out of it, somehow all memories of Spock has been erased. That there was no one knows Spock. No one knows Spock at all in the Enterprise except for Captain Kirk. And they find out why. Guess what? It turns out Spock was recorded to have been dead. He died at the age of 7 years old when he's going through the ritual that would make him into a man. Here's what happened. It turns out, and Spock has a memory of this. He says, wait a minute, I almost did die at that age, but my cousin saved me. And then Kirk realized, wait a minute, your cousin, Spock. Did your cousin look like you? And Spock realizes, oh my god, he did. Which means, actually, here's what actually happened. The reason why Spock was saved at 7 years old was because the adult Spock went back in time to save his younger self. And he just said that he was a cousin to the whole family. So yes, Spock has to go back in time, travel through the Guardian to save his younger self so his whole life can proceed as planned. So Spock has to save himself. Oh, timey-wimey, awesomeness. Yes, it is. It is very good. It's a very good character study on Spock as well, because we learn more about Spock by seeing him as a young boy and seeing his mother and his father. So we see a lot about the original, Spock and his whole lifestyle, his whole upbringing, and we get more connected to Spock through this way. And we just feel a love for him that much more. This is my ranking for all of these Star Trek animated series episodes. Have you seen the animated series? Have you not? Either way, let me know in the comment section. If you have, did you like any of the stories? What were your ranking of your favorites? If you've not seen Star Trek the animated series and you're curious, I hope this spiked your curiosity even more. So thank you guys so much for watching. You're awesome. You're brilliant. Guys, once again, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And once again, live well and prosper. Guys, peace out.